Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am Zakirullah, lecturer, Medical Laboratory Technology, Institute of Biological Sciences, Sarhad University of Science and Information Technology, Peshawar. Today is our new lecture. Subject is medical laboratory instrumentation, and our topic is the laboratory centrifuge. So we will learn about the centrifuge. Coming to the introduction, a centrifuge is basically a device which is used to separate different particles which are present in a solution, and these particles are separated according to the size, the shape, the density, and the viscosity of the medium. We know that inside a solution there are different types of particles and different types of components and compound which have different viscosity, different mass, or their medium have different chemical properties. So on the base of these properties, centrifuge divides such different particles into different portions. It sediment particles. The particles may be either bacteria, or it can be cast, or it can be cells, or all the formed particles that are present in a solution which are suspended in a solution, and they are separated or they are precipitated by a force which have a greater volume than the force of gravity. Centrifuge uses a special force which is called the centrifugal force, which separate the phases of different solution or the particles of different solution and having different densities. Centrifugal force, it increases with the speed of the rotation, and speed of rotation depends on two things. One is the revolution of the rotor per minute, that how much a rotor, a machine, it revolves in one time. And the other thing is the radius of rotation, that how much there is the distance from the center of the gravity to the last point where the tubes are present in the bucket. So these two things they changes the centrifugal force. One thing is the rotations per minute, that how much the machine rotates in 1 minute, and the radius of rotation, what is the different distance between the center of the rotation and the last point, the end of the rotation. So this is called the radius. The sedimentation is achieved at a speed, therefore depends on the radius of the centrifuge. That radius of centrifuge, it is directly proportional to the centrifugal force and also directly proportional to the separation of the particles. That whenever there is a high radius, the radius is increased, then the separation will be good and it will be in short time. Most techniques require centrifugation stage will easily specify the required relative centrifugal force expressed in gravity. For centrifugal force, we use a term named as relative centrifugal force, and this relative centrifugal force, this is expressed in gravities. For example, if we have relative centrifugal force of 2000 G, it means that the 2000 times the force is greater than the force of gravity. The relative centrifugal force is 2000 times, then the relative centrifugal force is 2000 times greater than the force of the gravity. So this shows us the centrifugal force. Coming to the parts of the centrifuge have different parts. It has the rotor, or also called the head of the centrifuge, and there is a drive shaft, which is the central part of the centrifuge to which the rotor and centrifuge head are attached. Then There is a motor beneath the drive shaft which controls the rotation of the centrifugation. Inside the rotor or centrifuge head, there are hanging buckets in which we put test tubes or the vials which have the solution to be centrifuged. Then there is another part which is the on-off switch. Then we have a timer which shows us the time for how much time a sample is to be centrifuged. For timer and another thing, there is a speed or gravity control which on which we can change our speed, how much speed is to be achieved by the centrifuge. Then there is another instrument which is called tachometer. This tachometer senses us the speed of the centrifuge. Certain centrifuges have the advanced types. They have brakes. Then when we open the lid of the centrifuge, automatically the brakes are applied and the speed decreases down with the time. Some centrifuges have a protective shield to minimize the aerosol production during the centrifugation of the solution. Then another instrument and another part is the safety lock. The safety lock is for that purpose that when the centrifuge is in process, it is centrifuging a sample, then the safety lock is on, and when the centrifuge stops its rotation, then the lock is also turned off, and we can open the protective shield, or we can open the lid of the centrifuge and take our samples from centrifuge. These are the different parts of centrifuge. Here we can describe in this diagram. On the left side we have the diagram which contains the sample holder, the top case, which is the cover of the centrifuge, and then the top case. Inside the top case we have a sample holder, and sample holder is inside the rotor head of the centrifuge. The rotor head is attached to the shaft of the centrifuge, and this shaft is attached to the motor which control the centrifugation and the revolution of the centrifuge. This motor is attached to an electric supply which is a direct current, and there are other parts which we can see on the right side, the outer parts of the centrifuge. Then we have a lid. Then this is a rotor, and inside a rotor there are the sample holders in which we can put our samples. This is the display and control center. This display shows us the speed, the time, and beside display there are the speed decrease and increase button, and also the time increase and decrease button. There is the lid open and close button, and on the base there is a start stop button in which we can start our centrifuge or stop our centrifuge manually. So these are the different parts of the centrifuge. Hope you have known all the parts of the centrifuge. Now going to the application and usage of the centrifuge. Centrifuge is used in two cases. One is the solid liquid case, a solution in which there are two different types of particles. One is solid portion and the other is the liquid portion, and this is when there are two different type of liquid solution. Both the solutions are liquid and both the components are liquid. So starting from this solid liquid solution, centrifuge separate particulate or the solid materials from a solution in which they are suspended. For example, when the cells are suspended in a whole blood, then we can separate the blood cells from the plasma or serum for different tests. Another is the concentration of cellular elements and other components of biological fluid for microscopic examination or chemical analysis. For example, if we have received any body fluid in the laboratory for testing, for example cerebrospinal fluid or semen analysis, then we also centrifuge these samples and we check the cells or the semen or other formed elements, and Also, for chemical analysis, we separate liquid from the solid portion in blood or any other body fluids. On the right side, there is a solution in which both the components, they are liquid. For example, we have a solution which is organic solution, and we have to separate a different portion. If a solution is a lipemic, if we receive any lipemic in which the chylomicrons are, the lipid portion is increased in the blood, so we separate chylomicrons from the other portion of the plasma and our lipoproteins. These are the two different types of application and uses of centrifuge. Coming to the point, after centrifugation we get two types of portion. One portion is called the supernatant and the other portion is called the pellet. The supernatant is that portion of the solution after centrifugation which have mostly the liquid portion, or the portion is usually lighter in density as compared to that portion which is on the base. The pellet or the cell button, these are basically the participate which are formed after centrifugation of a solution. So that portion is also called a pellet or a cell button, or we can also name it as a precipitate of a solution. So these are the two portions which are formed after centrifugation in a solution. Now coming to the different types of centrifuge, the first one is called the horizontal head or swinging bucket, where this is the horizontal head or swinging bucket centrifuge. Another is a fixed angle centrifuge. This one is the fixed angle centrifuge, and axial or vertical type of centrifuge. There is another type which is called the ultracentrifuge. We will discuss this later, and a microhematocrit centrifuge. Now coming to the horizontal head or swinging bucket centrifuge, this is a type of centrifuge when the rotor is in motion. For example, the rotor is in motion, so the tubes are in horizontal plane and at rest it is at vertical position. This is the resting position in which the test tubes, they are in vertical position. Like in this case the tube is in vertical position, and when it is in motion then the tubes attain a horizontal position. It becomes 90 degree to the motor. During centrifugation, particle travels in a constant manner along the tube, while the tube is at right angles to the shaft of the centrifuge. This is the shaft of the centrifuge and this is the tube which is in motion, so it is at right angle during the centrifugation. The sediment which is formed, it is distributed evenly and uniformly against the bottom of the tube, and the precipitate or the pellet have a flat surface. The surface is flat because this is forcing to the end of the tube, and the tube is at right angle and it is in horizontal position, so the pellet have the flat surface at the top. The supernatant liquid, it is removed easily with the help of a pipette without disturbing the pellet of the solution which is formed after centrifugation. And this type of centrifuges are good for separating blood cells from the other components of the blood, or precipitating or differentiating protein from other solutions. Now coming to the other type of centrifuge which is called the fixed angle or angle head centrifuge. This is a type of centrifuge in which the tubes are held in a fixed position at angles from about 25 to 40 degree to the vertical axis of rotation. Like in this case, in this picture we have, this is the rotor and this is the tube holder which is at certain angle to this rotor. This is called fixed angle or angle head centrifuge. Here is the image in which the tube holders, they are at right angle to this shaft of the centrifuge. The particles are pushed outward horizontally but strike the side of the tube, so the sediment packs. The sediment packed at the slightly angle to the bottom of the tube. The gravity causes the sediment to slide down the tube. Yes, as the gravity or the speed increases, the sediment goes down the tube, and usually a packed pellet is formed, which is as compared to horizontal or swinging bucket type of centrifuge like the previous type. The pellet is poor because after stopping, then the gravity decreases, so certain particles of the pellet, it detaches from the other particles and it mixes with the supernatant. So that's why we call the pellet here which is formed is poor as compared to a swinging bucket centrifuge. The rapid sedimentation of small particle as the fixed angle rotors can be run at higher centrifuge. Yes, this is the one of the advantage of this centrifuge, that we can rapidly sediment small particles with a higher speed and short time. Another type of centrifuge is the axial type or vertical type of centrifuge. This centrifuge, they are parallel to the rotor of the centrifuge and machine of the centrifuge, and usually they are not or they are very less are used in the research lab. So because the pellet form is very big as compared to other types of centrifuge, usually this centrifuge, these are used in other industrial type of machinery, or other than medical side, this type of centrifuges are used. Another type is the ultra centrifuge. As the name indicates, these are very high speed centrifuges, and they are usually fixed head rotors, and they are used, their application is separation of small ultra microscopic particles or lipoproteins. They have refrigerated chamber inside the centrifuge because to control the temperature. During ultracentrifugation, a huge amount of heat is generated. That's why, which is controlled by the refrigerated chamber of the ultracentrifuge. Last type of centrifuge which we will discuss today is about the microhematocrit centrifuge. As the name indicates, microhematocrit is mostly used for the diagnosis and monitoring of anemia when there is no other any such instruments or machines. Just like today we have a hematology analyzer which is used for the diagnosing and monitoring of anemia and hemoglobin level. So microhematocrit is used in case if we have no advanced or the digital hematology analyzer. Also it is used for research purposes. Microhematocrit centrifuge measure the packed cell volume to calculate mean cell hemoglobin concentration during the investigation of any kind of, especially the iron deficiency anemia and other types of anemia. And also it is used to detect different types of the parasitic infections and the amount of parasitic infection per ml of blood. So these are the different types of uses and application of microhematocrit centrifuge which is used in the laboratory. Now that was the end of the lecture of centrifuge at different parts, at types. Hope you have understand all the different parts, all the types of centrifuge and the applications of the centrifuge. We will discuss its troubleshooting and its maintenance, its care, and what are the different steps if any accident occurs in a centrifuge. We will discuss in the next lecture. So till then, Assalamu alaikum, Allah Hafiz.